Walt Fritz coming to you again with another get out of the house hike. It may seem like I keep going back to the same areas, Hemlock Lake, Canada's Lake, and you know what? It's true. I do enjoy this area. I'm just starting at the north end of Hemlock Lake on the northwest side, off of Rix Hill Road. There is a detour right now. You cannot get from 15A over to the west side of the lake, but if you're coming down from Lima, the detour signs right in the village are pretty well marked for Rix Hill Road. Turn right on Adams, turn left on some street, can't remember what, but fairly well marked, and you just loop back around to the parking area. And we're going to be exploring this trail. This one is pretty neat, especially if you want to bring the kids along, because it's probably got some of the more well-preserved foundations from some of the old cottages from the 1800s than either side of the lake or either lake. You can see I'm approaching one right here on the right, and it's only a couple hundred yards down from the gated entrance there at the northwest end of the park. And it is kind of fun even for an adult kid like me who likes to go exploring, but you'll see a number of these on the way down that, you know what, you can go in, you can pretend, you can play if you're here with the kids, or I don't know, if you're like me, maybe just by yourself. And we'll give you a look at some of these along the way. This one, a little hard to tell maybe from this video, but it looks like a carved out foundation here and a moss covered wall. But let's see what this trail has to offer for us. And this particular trail does offer a little bit more of a, I don't want to call it a challenge, because how challenging is this, right? This is probably one of the easier little streams that you get across. That one's pretty close in. This trail, the Westlake Road, or Old Westlake Road, continues only for maybe, I'm guessing maybe a half mile at the most, and then disappears into a much smaller trail with a fair amount of deep gullies that well, I'm going to be exploring today. And if you're adventurous, I think it's a good place to quell some of that adventure spirit. Forces you to now take quite a few detours, at least even in the beginning part here. While the original trail goes there, guessing there was a bridge there at one time, you really, unless you feel like jumping off that 15-foot cliff over there, you're gonna end up working your way down through the ravines where the runoff is a little easier to cross. And that's kind of the nature of this side of the lake. It's a lot more work. The trail is, well, it's well defined. Let me see if I can do this without losing everything here. The trail is well defined, but there's a lot of spots where you have to sort of work your way back around and then get back up on the trail. I don't find that too difficult. I think it kind of adds to the exercise that I look for when I go out on these walks. And in just a minute here, we'll have gotten ourselves back up onto the trail. And keep going for a little bit longer till I hit the next ravine. And at times they seem to be coming pretty fast and furious, especially when I get down past the final aspect of the regular trail. But you'll see that in a little bit. We head down the trail here, the obstacles become a little more and a little bit more interesting to cross here. Obviously it looked like to me an old bridge here, foundation that went across this part of the runoff here. So going to turn my phone off, or my camera off, for this getting across this ravine. As I said, most of these trails, if you follow the trail itself, you'll see that people have sort of marked out the places where it might be easier to get across. If I'm not mistaken, this one's not bad to get across right there at the built-up dam. But yeah, if I don't get back to you, you know I was wrong. Across that little ravine that I showed you last, and This is certainly one of the larger cottages foundations that's here. You can see the pretty big poured foundations for what I'm guessing would have been the porch. Both behind me here and across there, you see foundation over in here. The foundation continues way back in through here. You know, every time I come here, I seem to find different aspects of the foundations and little bits of remnant trash, if you want to call it, that people in the past have left behind, or people in the meantime had brought in and didn't take with them. But to me, it's a fun adventure coming out here. Bit of a work. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get muddy. You may even slip into the mud. But you know what? I think it's good for us to get out here. There was one car in the parking lot across the street who they looked like they were on their way out. Other than that, I'm the only one in here today. And it's kind of typical for once you get back into here, although you're going to see footprints. I saw some bike tracks a little while back. For the most part, you're going to have the trail to yourself, which to me makes for a great hike. No worry about other people's noises, other people's coronavirus potential germs, etc. And certainly no reason, I don't think, for you to feel like you need to wear a mask. And you can see I'm working my way down another one of these ravines here. I'm guessing that yep, that's what happened. I'm guessing that at one time these were all bridges that traverse these, because the cottages continue all the way up. But with this area being unoccupied for, gosh, 120, 130 years, since the city of Rochester completely bought everything up, no need to maintain bridges, and everything's just sort of working its way back to nature. There, I did that one with only one embarrassing slip. No extra mud. Maybe 3/4 of a mile or a little bit farther down south from the trailhead at Rix Hill Rd. The trail basically becomes a range of options. You can see footprints in some areas. Some places are a little bit more trodden down than other places. But you're making your own trail. And one of the things I really enjoy about being here is not very habitated. Makes you really feel like you're getting out there, and it's so close to where we all live. And the state owns this land, and no hunting. There's fishing on the lake, as all of you know, but it creates a real nice, peaceful, and almost a wild setting feeling. And you know, sometimes I look at some of these ravines and wonder, how am I going to get across? But I think I've already spotted my path down one log and up the other side. And I'm huffing and puffing, even though this looks like a level trail from, if you imagine a road going along Hemlock Lake. But it's probably as much of a challenge as hiking up Rob's Trail on either side, at least without the constant uphill walk. But there is some challenges for those who like it. If you're not so keen on that, I think I'd pick a different one today. Although on a day like this, you know, what is it, close to 60? Bugs are just starting to come out, so making it feel like it really might be spring. It's really a lovely place to be. Encourage you to get out there, and I'll see you on the trail. You know, the size of some of these ravines, the width of them, the depth of them, I wonder how they got the bridges across. Not how they got them, but how they kept them and what happened to them. I'd say that, you know, you might say that, well, there probably weren't bridges. Well, there were cottages all the way up and down both sides of the lake. I'm going to link the photo that's, or the image that's available on the internet. It shows the location of the cottages somewhere in, I think, the late 1800s. And you know what? They continue all the way down the west side of the lake here. And despite the terrain, which is a lot more hilly, a lot deeper, bigger, more ravines than it seems like on the other side of the lake. Just the lay of the land, possibly, but presents an interesting question. And I wonder if anyone out there might know the answer. I know Doug Morgan had done a lot of images and a little bit of writing about both of the lakes a number of years ago. And if anyone wants to tag him and see what he's got to say about the bridges. Oh, nice little snake. Early spring garter snake or something. So anyway, other than squirrels and chipmunks and a couple of birds, it's been my first glimpse of wildlife today.